Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Chess Classics You Must Know. This is your host Sagar Shah, and today we are going to learn something truly amazing. Uh, and welcome to you. This is the 35th episode of Chess Classics You Must Know, and we have had some amazing games that we have covered. But today I'm going to show you one of my favorite games and you're going to enjoy it a lot. So, by the way, it's 8 a.m. in India right now, and I hope that you all are awake. Let's get it cracking. First question to all of you before we get going: who do you think is the player that we are going to watch the game of today? I hope you can hear me well. Hello, 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 Jishnu, Amay. Good to see you guys. Anand, not really, not really. Kunal, good to see you. Arjan, Shubh says, Shubh, you are right. Wow. Paul Morphy. Yes, we're going to see a game of Paul Morphy. I believe I haven't covered any of his games in the classic series. And so this is going to be great fun. What you have to do is you have to guess the moves at every critical juncture where I ask you. Yeah, to pause the video, you must think what would you be doing. Okay, I also have my chat chess moves here. I don't know if I have it. um just a second. Let me just set that up, and you can study this on your chessboard, right? Or you can, you can write down your answers in a book. You can type it in the chat. There's this chat chess moves which will capture your moves. So try to give it your all. Try to think. There are many things in this game which you will learn about initiative, sacrifice, decision making, and so on. So let's get it cracking. I think without any delay, let's go. Are you excited, guys? How can I improve my rating in the downfall from 1268 to 1224? Yatharth, the best way to improve is to think today for the moves that we are going to do here. Don't um, just think about how you will think in your game, okay? And give the moves. That would be a good starting point. Should we get going, guys? Let me know, and then we can get going. I also have a timer here so I can start. Shubh says, Sagar bhai, I'm fully ready with a chessboard in front of me. Oh, nice, nice. Saptak says, yes, let's get cracking. Okay, so the timer has begun. Now, Paul Morphy was a player who was way ahead of his time. Okay, he was very well known for his sense of initiative. While everyone used to sort of, during that era, play aggressive chess, Paul Morphy actually understood the dynamics of chess much better. And this game is a great example of it. He opens the game with 1 e4. Okay, very strong move. Black goes e5, just solid. The knight comes out to f3, attacking the e5 pawn. And now a very simple and safe move is knight c6, as you all know. But black plays the move d6. And this is not a bad move as such. It is the start of the Philidor opening. You can play this way. But white now goes for a very strong move. What would you play here? If you were white, what would you do? Let's see. Kishan Dave says, Philidor's defense, chess Zach, thank you so much. What would you do here as white? Yes, Ankur Oraon, Raz Baradalai, Shubh Chandra, very good. Ishan Agarwal, Vagish Kumar, Mahendran TM. Yes, so Vagish, you said bishop c4, which is not a bad move per se. But it's in this position, it's a very good idea to strike in the center, because for black it's a moment of great doubt now what to do, because on one hand you can take here, but then White gets a favorable structure in the center. He has more space. Generally in e4 e5 you want to maintain these pawns as black, like you want to maintain your pawn on e5. So if you take it, it's not good. And if you have to defend this, you don't want to be playing knight c6, because then I can either push you or even I can take in some lines, but I can push you back. So that's not what you do want to do. And knight d7 is definitely a concession because your knight is not coming on the best square. So d4 immediately puts pressure on black. Now what did black do? He went and he said, look, you're putting pressure on my center with your knight, so I am going to pin you. Now this is not a good move by the opponent, and it's your move now. First point, okay, this is your first. Guys, are we back? Sorry, I don't know what happened there. And just very confused. In second, let me get the timer back. Sorry, my OBS these days is getting stuck somehow. So maybe I have to fix something. It just got stuck. It was not the internet. Just a second. Let me just get the timer here. And then we can again get going. We'll start from 42 minutes because that's where we were. Okay, so your task right now is to guess what should white play. White to move, what would you do? Try to think while I get the timer back. There you go. The timer is here. Okay, all good. Very good, Zebit, Shubh Chandra, fantastic. So the move that was played here by Morphy, and let's see how many of you could find it, was d takes e5. So brilliant job here by Maharishi, Rayan, Yashad, Vinayak, Karthik, Anil, Thakur. Well done, guys. This is the correct move. So the move here is to take on e5, and it is a forcing move. I believe there are other moves suggested here like h3, which is not bad. I mean, h3 is pretty decent, but then he would take here and you would have to take back maybe with the pawn, because queen f3 would mean he would take this. So yes, it's possible to play h3, not a bad idea. D5, I would not voluntarily give up the tension in the center, so that's not a great move. Bishop e2, too passive, I would say. I mean, not a bad idea either, but definitely d takes e5 is the best move here. Because now, as rightly pointed out by Mahendran and some other people as well, hello, Rodro. Rizo says it's my first time in this and I love it. Oh, that's wonderful, Rodro. So takes here. If you take back, then the problem is I take your queen, take here, and suddenly the knight is like, oh my god, what has happened? I am no longer pinned here. And what can he do? What can white do here? Of course, that is the main thing. Yes, exactly, guys. You can simply take a free pawn now, attacking the bishop and also the pawn on f7. So that just makes things completely clear that you cannot take back the pawn. So black now decides, okay, I cannot take back the pawn, so I must take the knight. He takes. Jairus says, greetings from Philadelphia. Huge fan of Chess Base India. Great to be here. Jairus, good to see you. And I hope you learn a lot today. Now, in this position, it's not your question. It's I've asked you only one question until now for points. What would you take back with the queen or with the pawn? Would you take here with the queen or would you take back with the pawn? Because he's taken your knight. So queen definitely seems like the most natural move, right? Because you are going to take that. But taking with the pawn has its own benefits. And by the way, Stenitz mentioned that, if you take here with the pawn, then you keep the opportunity open to take the queen. And now here, what would you play as white? Just as a simple question, just try to think in terms of the imbalances that we have learned before. Like, what are the imbalances white has the bishop pair. So what should you do? Yes, exactly, guys. Karthik, Mohit, Shubh, Darsh, Anil, fantastic. The move is f4. And can anyone explain to me why f4 would you play in such a position? What is the reason of playing f4? Namit Bir Singh Walia says open the center. But why would you open? Why would you open the center? Not to control the centers. Yes, Zebit, you are right. To open up the bishops. Vinayak Marar, you too are right. Vagish Kumar Rai, exactly. So you, when you have the bishop pair, you want to open up the position. So that's the reason why the move g takes f3 is not so senseless as it would seem, because after take and f4, white has a clear advantage in the position. Okay. Our timer seems to have stopped, but okay, all good. Now, there you go. Let's get back to the game. So he took here, but Morphy said, I don't want to take with the pawn. That's all Stenitz's business. Stenitz's is a positional player. I'm going to take with the queen. I'm going to attack. Okay, Black says, thank you so much. I'll take back the pawn. Now, for your second question here today, what would you play here as white? White to play, it's a simple one. It's a simple one, but still, I want all of you to think. Think carefully. You have a queen out, but you didn't want to develop your queen. It's like he forced you to develop your queen. What do you do? Come on. Hugh Lamp, try to write the notation. Try to write the notation. Someone in the chat has mentioned bishop f4. No. Write the notation correctly. By the way, guys, all of you who are here, take part in this. This is your way to get better. Many people keep saying, how do I get better? The best way to get better at chess is to look at games of the great players and try to make your brain think in the same way that you think during your games. Okay, if you are able to do that, you will get better. So the move here is bishop to c4. Fantastic, fantastic. Let's see what all of you have come up with. Love it. Bishop c4 is the most popular move. Shubh, Sanjay, Tanay, Nilay, Karthik, Kishan, Zebit, Movie Show, Vagish and Kunal Gupta, you all are right to attack the f7 pawn. And I'll give you a full point for it because you threatened mate in one. But there's also one more move which I would like to award full points, and that is Queen B3 by Vinayak Marar. Anish Luki Reddy and Prithvi Suraj, because it also kind of puts pressure here and puts black in a very uncomfortable situation on how to defend it. You don't want to play b6 and weaken all your light squares here, towards the king. So queen b3, I will give a full point, but no other move apart from that. Okay, let's go to the game. Bishop c4. Paul Morphy was like, okay, look, if you are not going to be alert, you're going to get checkmated in one move here. Okay, well, of course, everyone's going to notice that. And a move that was played was knight f6 here. However, there is another possible move in this position, and that is to play queen f6. Let's have a look at this move because I have a question here. So, but we'll come back to this position. Yeah. So what do you do here? By the way, queen f6. What is the move that you would play? Yes, exactly. You will play your queen to b3. Now, you want to attack f7, but you also want to attack b7. And in such positions, if black goes b6, let's say you bring your knight out to c3, and black plays the move c6 to control the d5 square. Now, my next question, and this is a variation, right? Third point for you. What do you play in this position as white? White to play. Amma, you don't want to exchange queens. Amma, when you are ahead in development, when you are putting pressure, you should not exchange queens. Guys, all those who are using an engine, please don't use it. There's no benefit you get out of using an engine. You should think on your own. You want to get better at chess, this is your chance. Take this opportunity. There's nothing by me calling out your name. What are you going to get? If you find the moves and then I call your name, that is something. Okay, so very simple move here, and let's just have a look at the different options that have been presented. And I'm really impressed by the chat because most of you have found the right move, knight d5. Now, all those who did not even think of this move, try to improve your tactical vision in chess. Okay, it's very important for you to think tactically, because many times in such positions you are looking at a move. Let's say all those who said a move like short castles here. Okay, if you play short castle, you are not doing anything wrong, but you should sense it that this is the moment where things can get really intense. So all those who said knight d5, kudos to you. Vinayak, Darsh, Halil, Manthan, Zebit, Mahindran, Dishank, KP, Nilay and Prithvi, you are putting your knight opry, but after takes, I will come back to it. There's another move that has been mentioned here by Namit Bir, Prahlad, Mohit and Kunal. Very nice move, bishop g5, because you are once again in the dynamic mode. If he takes, you want to take on f7, he moves his king, let's say somewhere king d8, and now you want to take on g8. That is also a very good solution, but the best move and by far the most amazing move is knight d5. And now the thing is, if he takes here, now what was your idea, guys? Why did you say knight d5? Come on, let's see how many of you actually thought this. So all those who here have mentioned the move bishop takes d5. Think again, think again. This is not correct. This is not correct because I go knight to c6, and what is your follow up? Did you think? See, think one step ahead. You know, thinking few steps ahead in chess is like thinking a few steps ahead in life. For example, if you see a chocolate there right in front of you, you wouldn't say, oh, let me grab it, it's tasty. If you think that way, that's a very, you are either a kid, very little kid, or you are thinking very short term. You think, oh, if I eat the chocolate right now, will it help me? Will it give me energy? Do I need it? The sugar, will it be good? Will it not be good for me? All of these, you think ahead. In the same way, after knight's bishop d5, you think, oh, the rook is hanging, it's gone. But what about knight c6? Think about the defenses. So here the right move, and now of course after queen b5, which many of you might think rook c8 and black is completely better, completely better. So you shouldn't go for such a line. Okay, maybe some of you are still thinking bishop g5, but I can still go queen g6 here. So it's not a given. But the right move here, which has been found by Namitbir, Maharishi, Prithvi, Raihan, Anirudh, Kishan, and Karthik, is bishop d5 check. And now it's a different ball game, because if you play knight d7, firstly, I'm going to chop, 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 and win your rook. That's one thing. The second thing is, by the way, that I'm going to, after cd5, bishop b5, if you play knight to c6, I'm going to now take back with the pawn, and you're going to lose the knight. So those were a few variations which kind of show the richness of the lines here. I actually even went on to analyze something more deep here after queen f6, queen b3, b6, knight c3. No, sorry, queen b3. Yeah, maybe it was not no, not this position, next one. So knight f6 was played here. He didn't play queen f6, and then white played the move. As you all know, what was the move that white was going to play? Good morning everyone, guys. What should white play? Because white has to keep the initiative flowing, keep the initiative flowing. Yes, queen b3. Queen b3 is a brilliant double attack, because I'm attacking f7, I'm attacking b7. Okay, this is a great double attack by white in the position. Okay, now he played queen b3, and this is called keeping the initiative. Now anyone knows what keeping the initiative means? What is initiative in chess? Anyone in the chat who can tell me what does keeping the initiative, what is initiative in chess? Narayan says attack, Alokrat says development, Rabichan says attack, Prahlad Sen says advantage, Anish says making concrete threats to achieve strategic goals. Interesting. Namit Bir says when you keep on making threats, an opponent has to respond to it. Yes. The Zebit says the ability to dictate the direction of the game. Fantastic. Sudarshan says driving the game. I really like all these things here. I would say, I think I'll mix it up, and what you guys said, maybe Namit Bir was very much correct. The ability to create threats, but not just create threats, but create such threats that the opponent has to respond to them, is called initiative. Okay, and opponent who's all the time responding to the threats wants to get rid of that thing. He doesn't want to keep responding. He wants to be someone who is able to take things in his own hands and is able to sort of respond back and have his own threats. But that doesn't happen often if you make the best moves. Now in this position, black realized that his f7 pawn is more important than his b7 pawn. So he played queen to e7. Okay. And now Morphy, could have just simply taken queen takes b7, because that seems like very simple. You win a pawn, you're threatening the rook, it's a free rook. But what was Morphy afraid of? Why did he not go for this variation? Anyone? Anyone? Why did Morphy not take this free pawn? Yes, exactly, guys. The main issue why he did not take this free pawn was because there is a check here. And after this check, the problem is you have to trade queens. And while this is a totally winning position because you are a pawn up, and black has lost a very important pawn here, it's still not something that Morphy wanted to do, which I would say is not the best strategy, but in the past, people love to attack. By the way, I was analyzing that if this is a big problem for Morphy, the check, could he not have taken here and then diverted the queen and then taken on b7? And so it's my fourth question to all of you here in the chat. What should black play here? Remember the concept of initiative and keep an eye out if you can overturn the initiative in any position. Think carefully. It's not an easy one. It's very tough. Very tough. Namdev Pente, when will Gukesh play the next classical event? We'll figure out later. Focus on this. Try to learn. So the move that you want to be making here is, let's see, some of you have mentioned knight e4. Now, knight e4, while being a decent move, is not the best because of short castle. And still, the rook is hanging there in the corner. If you mention knight g4, once again, the same issue. I'm going to short castle and white is better. The move that is really amazing and which should be taken note of is bishop c5. And this is what is meant by turning the tide. When the initiative, by the way, my chat chess moves seems to have stopped. I don't know why, but Keith, if you can be so kind to help me out here, that you are here, would be great. So bishop c5 attacks f2, and suddenly you're turning the tide. And if white says I'm going to castle, black also says I'm going to castle. And now suddenly this queen, this hunt of one pawn turns into something very dangerous, because what should you do here as black? Come on, black to play. Yes, Narayanan Venkatesh, very good. Very good. Namit Beer, Naika Biswas, Prithvi Suraj, Karthik, Mohit Sharma, Hugh Lamp, GOT Watch, Prahlad Sen. Very good. The move is c6. And look, you might think f2 is the point, but f2 is not a weakness as such, because white has a very powerful move here. Can anyone tell me what is that? White has a very powerful move here. Yes, Anirban Mondal, Anish, Rayan, Chariton, Prithvi, Shubh. Yashad, well done, guys. Well done. Fantastic. Fantastic. That is the correct move here. Queen to d5. You see, the queen can be traded, and because you have won a rook there, it's a very good idea. Just exchange the queens, and you are winning the position. So that's the reason why in this position it's not, the move is not after castle, queen takes a8, knight g4, but rather c6. And now my threat is to go knight g4. And also another threat is, let's say if you were to play something like knight c3, I would go queen d7. My point is to defend this pawn, and next move go knight a6 when your queen is trapped. So that's how it works. Okay. So this is just another variation. But okay, he went knight c3. Morphy was like, you know, he had very simple logic. I want to develop, I want to get pieces out, and I want to checkmate you. And also his point is that if next move he can take here, there'll be no queen b4 check to trade the queens. Okay. So he played the move c6. Very logical. Roshan, you are right. Roshan, he stops knight d5, and he also defends the queen. Now, for your next point, I think this is the fifth point in the position. Yes. What would you do here as white? White to play. Zebit says, what is wrong with knight c6 instead of c6? Zebit, doesn't the knight simply hang with the queen there? Or you mean to say here, in this position? Well, if you play knight c6 directly in this position, then I'll take b7. It's free pawn. Well, I love how you guys are absolutely so alert and taking the initiative in your hands. Namitbir, Anirban, Narayanan, Dipankar, Prahlad, Devendra, Yatharth, Anirban, Shubh, Jerome, Prithvi, bishop g5 is the correct move. And now with bishop g5, what you are doing, telling black, is that you can't move, my friend. You can't move at all. Because see, your bishop is blocked by the queen. Your knight cannot come here on d7 because I'll take on b7. And this knight cannot develop, this bishop cannot develop, this rook is inside, this rook is inside. If you were to play a move like knight a6, then white can already go take, take, even take further. If you take with the queen, possible, but maybe I have queen b7, but you take with the pawn, and now I simply short castle. And this is a very, very positionally bad structure for black. You can see all his pawns tremendously weak here. In fact, I'll go rook d1. I'll start attacking you, queen a4. I can attack here, queen c4. I can attack this. I mean, it's just a very, very dangerous and bad position. So that's the reason why Morphy's opponent said, Morphy, this is very, very bad what you are doing to me, but I need to develop. And he plays the move b5. And he says to Morphy, move your bishop. This is your sixth point. Where do you move your bishop? b5 has been played. Where do you play the bishop to? Yes, Yashad, you are right. The move here, and the very strong move. By the way, some of you are mentioning that we can once again sacrifice our knight on d5, but that doesn't work this time because b takes c4 attacks the queen, so you don't have time. Uh, some of you have found this brilliant move, knight takes b5. Fantastic job. All those who have seen knight takes b5. it's a knight sacrifice, but it also is very much in keeping with the concept of initiative. Now, all those who mentioned bishop d3 or even bishop e2, remember, this is not in the spirit of the position. What will black do? What was black's main problem? The b7 pawn was attacked. So now what can he do? Because you moved your bishop, come on, come on. Yes, Mahendra TM, Namit Bir, Maharishi, very good guys. Knight BD7, Yashad. You just develop your knight and you get it out. And suddenly there was no reason why B5 you should have allowed this for black, and then black can simply next move complete his development. So after b5, in order to keep up your initiative, you must take here, and then after take you must take back. And now came the move knight bd7, and black said, I'm a piece up. What are you threatening? What is the problem here? Well, here's the question to all of you. What should white play in this position? Think. This is your 7th point. My God, very strong chat. Very, very, very strong. Although Anirban Mondal, I have an issue with your move. I have an issue with your move. But I see all 0 0 0 0 0 0 in the chat. And someone, if he's not a chess player and comes here and sees, what's happening? Why are everyone writing 0 0 0? Yes, the thing is that here long castle is the best move. Fantastic. Fantastic. The thing is, if you play rook d1 here, which is not bad, it's the same concept, but just think about it. Your rook on h1 is crying. It's like, I also wanted to be in the game. It'll take him one more move to come in. And let's say if I play something like rook d8, you cannot follow it up like the way you did in the game. Yes, you can castle here, but every move is important when you are attacking and when you have the initiative. So long castle is the correct move, and everyone who mentioned that gets a full point here. Yeah. Black went rook d8. Okay, by the way, a very quick question to all of you. If black long castle, how do you finish him off? Come on, come on. Yes, Rajiv, well done. Narayanan, Dipankar, Yashad, Namit Beer, Kishan. No, Kishan, come on, something better. Tamojit. Yes, the move is bishop a6 check. And the point is, it's a forced mate in 2. There are many moves that win, by the way. It's not the only move that wins, but this is mate in 2. Rest all take time. While here, it's checkmate, game over. Okay. So he went rook d8. Now, next point. Point number 8. What do you do? White to play. Think. Think. Yes. Let's see some new names. Logesh. Soothing Melody. Well done. Sagar Chess. Fantastic. Nikhil Kandoi. Sorry. Nikhil. Well done. Shubh Chandra. Fun Planet. Think something better. You're close. Rudra Patel. Mayank Kukreti. Prashant. Fun Planet. Very good. So, the move here, by the way, and this is very important, right? Because see, there is a pin here. There's a pin here. He's all pinned up. So a natural reaction here for many of you would be to take on d7. But after rook d7, maybe you see a check here. But then I'll play queen d8. And it remains to be seen What was your threat anyway? You are now a piece down, remember. It's not easy. It's not easy to continue here. So, the main point is that this is a pin here. And I can actually sacrifice the rook. And once I sacrifice the rook, this pin remains because he must take with the rook. He can't take with the queen. He'll lose the queen. He can't take with the knight. He will lose the queen here. So he must take it with the rook. And now, what do you do next? White to play for your ninth point in this position. What do you do? Yes, fantastic. Rajiv, Karthishwar, Shubh, Yashad, Narayanan, Nanda, Kishan, Anirban, Logesh, Rudra, and all of you, Graham, all those who are saying the next move, what is the thing which you are using? There's a rule that you are using. Can you tell me? What is it? Yes, Maharishi Ray, very good. Pritesh Agarwal says, please bring Samay Raina. That is not the rule, Pritesh. The rule is, yes, there are three rules that are there. One is bring all the pieces into the attack. Remember this concept. Sometimes it's so useful to just remember that, oh, if one of my pieces is not playing, let me bring it into the game. The second rule is always attack a pinned piece. So a pinned piece must be attacked. This is a pin here. The rook is a pinned piece because it cannot move. And so what you do is you bring your rook to d1 and then you attack it even further. So very good job. All those who mentioned this, fantastic. So queen e6 was played here. And now what does white do in this position? For your 10th point, try to think what should white play in this position. Yashad, Logesh. There are many ways to win, by the way. But what is the fastest? Go for it. Go for it. Come on, guys, think. So one way and a very simple way is to take on e6. All those who mentioned this, fantastic. Take. Now you see the knight is protecting this. So the other rule is get rid of the piece that is defending your pinned piece. So let's say if here this piece is pinned, you have attacked it many times and you are not able to win it, you can get rid of the defender. So bishop f6 takes and rook d7, and white is totally winning here because white is already 2 pawns up. A7 is hanging. He will lose the third pawn. So you must go instead of queen here. Queen takes e6 is possible, but another strong move is to take bishop d7. All those who said this, beautiful, beautiful. Now it's a check. You can't take with the king. Rook is there. You can take with the knight. You can't take with the queen because you lose the queen. So he took with the knight and he once again asked Morphy. He looked at Morphy. What is it that you want? And this is your final point. I generally ask 10 questions, but here I made it 11. Final point for the 11th one. What do you do with white? White to play. Yes, dear chat. You guys are quick, yeah? Everyone wants to sack. Yes. He sacrifices his queen here. Wow. With the move queen b8 check. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Too good. Queen b8 check. And that is game over. After queen b8, there's nothing at all that you can do because it's a check. And Amar says, what's better than an early morning queen sacrifice? That is true, Amar. Very nice. And he resigned by the... No, I think he played on takes and boom, checkmate. And this is so beautiful because white has given up all his pieces which were not really useful for the mating attack. The only two useful pieces were the bishop and the rook. and the rook moved in, and it is a checkmate. And that is how Paul Morphy beat the Duke of Brunswick. This is the game, and yes, this is the famous opera game, Morphy versus Duke. I wanted to look at it in my classic series because it's one of those games which you cannot miss. Um, you cannot be like, oh, I didn't know about this game and so on. It is something you should know, but at the same time I wanted to go a bit deeper. I wanted to look at a few lines which were not being covered elsewhere, and we were able to do this here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned about what initiative is. If you guys can tell me in the chat what is it that you learned from here, and later on when I end this video you can also put it in the comments. That would be very helpful. What did you learn today? Aryaveer says rook on open file worked here also. Rules never disappoint. That's true. That is true. What did you learn? Arya says I learned just follow chess rules always. Well, always maybe not, but yes, you can. Priyanshu says keeping the initiative is very important. Very good. And how can you keep the initiative going? If you see, Morphy kept the initiative going by sacrifice, check, development, sacrifice, bringing another piece, check, sacrifice, and mate. So when you are keeping an initiative in a game, these are some of the things you should remember. Sacrifice at the right time, give checks when it's important because that gives you time. It forces your opponent. Bring all the pieces into the attack and sort of sacrificing at the right moment. This is how you do it. Yathat says developing every piece. Anish says calculation is important. Ryan says nothing. That's good, Ryan. If you learn nothing, it means you knew a lot, which is good. Rajiv says find the moves to keep the initiative going, bring all pieces, attack the pin piece. Very good. Narayan says I learned that initiative is not about just making useful moves but also making plans that will help you get the initiative. That is true. Maximus says learning chess early morning is better than sleeping. True, true, true. Bhakti says developing pieces and using them for attack, not losing balance while you attack. Credits to the Chess Ranga episode in Sicilian, how to not lose your balance in closed Sicilian. Okay, very cool. Bhakti, thank you for sharing this. And don't exchange queens while attacking, Shreyas said. That's an important rule, Shreyas. Well done. Well done. Okay, so this is the game. I will see you all later. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, guys, and please do leave a comment and do like the stream. This is Sagar Shah signing off. I hope to do more 8 a.m. streams in the morning, but we'll see if I can manage to do it. I will keep going. Tomorrow I plan to go to Pune because there is the PSPB going on to cover it. Maybe day after tomorrow, but day after tomorrow is 1 year anniversary of Chess Base India Chess Club. Please come to Mumbai, all those who are, and play the tournament. It's on our news page, chessbase.in. Big event, 1,25,000. It's going to be amazing. Please do come there. Take care, guys. Bye bye.